to another episode of Mastering Business Communication. I'll be your host, Executive Director Will Maples, for District 29 Toastmasters TV show filmed at the Reston Comcast Studios. Tonight I have with me District 29's leadership team. The theme for tonight is the District 29 theme, where every member matters. I have with me Lynn Weil, Distinguished Toastmaster and current District Director for 2016-2017 year.
That's correct.
I have Amy Brenner. She is the Program Quality Director. She's also a Distinguished Toastmaster for the 2016-2017 year. I have with me Dwight Yamada. You are the Club Growth Director for the 2016-2017 year. And I have with me David Gerganius, who will be the Public Relations Manager for the 2016-2017 year. And this TV show is one of many of the outfits that you will preside over. Yes. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Thank you.
If we would, let's just greet the people first. Lynn, tell everybody about your Toastmasters journey. How did you get involved in Toastmasters?
All right, I joined in April 2009
Okay.
for, I think, a pretty common reason, the nervous speaking in front of an audience.
Okay.
And I've got into the leadership track, which is part of Toastmasters, and so I'm finding that in addition to improving my speaking, I've also found that I've enjoyed helping other people in the leadership side of Toastmaster, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit more later on.
Okay. Well, welcome, Lynn. Thank you so much for leading our district. Miss Amy Brenner, talk to us. Tell us all about yourself.
I joined Toastmasters in June of 2008 when my company started a Toastmasters club.
Okay.
I'm currently a member of several clubs, some in District 29 and some in District 27, which is our neighboring district to the east.
Inside the Beltway, correct?
Right, the other
Correct.
side of the Beltway, exactly. And I joined because I was very often asked to speak without having any preparation time. And so I needed to learn how to answer questions that I didn't have time to prep for.
So let me get this straight. In your business everyday role, you constantly kept getting prompted to speak and give presentations, and Toastmasters, was able to resolve that issue? And help you out?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, kudos to Toastmasters, huh? Dwight, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, Will.
Oh, thank you so much. Tell me about yourself. How long have you been in Toastmasters?
I've been a Toastmaster for about 5 years.
5 years?
I joined District 29 when it was first formed.
Okay.
And like Amy, a team of Toastmasters came out to the company that I worked for to come and do a demonstration meeting about Toastmasters. And what really captured me was these Toastmasters were very dedicated towards helping others. Because I was born and raised in Hawaii, and the story that I tell, in Hawaii there's something called the spirit of aloha.
Aloha.
And the spirit of aloha is about giving without expectation of anything in return. And these Toastmasters had a lot of aloha.
Wonderful.
So that captured me and also got me to be committed to also give back to the members.
Wonderful, wonderful. And David, how long have you been in Toastmasters now?
Well, my journey started October 2014.
Whoa, less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years.
All right.
What brought me to Toastmasters was I'm a sales engineering professional.
Okay.
And one of my issues that my supervisors were bringing up to me is that I didn't do as well briefing an executive audience.
Okay.
So one of the reasons I joined Toastmasters was to overcome that fear of an executive audience. And one of the interesting things that happened is that 8 speeches later, I found myself briefing one of the largest civilian organizations in the world, and I was briefing their CISO.
Right.
And I had 15 minutes at the end of a 4.5-hour executive briefing session. And when I finished, and I was using what I'd learned in Toastmasters, and when I finished my briefing to him, he looked at me, he pointed his finger at me, and he said, "That's exactly what I need." So that was a real triumph for me, because that's what, a CISO for one of the largest organizations in the world, and he said, "That's exactly what we need."
That's very rewarding. Great story.
It was.
Welcome, everyone. So, today's show, you'll hear a panel discussion of why every member matters, but also we're going to hear a speech from none other than Miss Amy Brenner, And then she'll be evaluated by Dwight Yamada. And then, Lynn, you're the director. I want to have a little one-on-one interview with you towards the end.
Okay?
And that way we can kind of, you can set your vision and everything else and let the audience know.
Okay?
But while we're here, while I have all you here, we all have extraordinary journeys. Let's ask a few questions. Let's get acquainted with our audience. Lynn, got a question for you. Why do most people join Toastmasters?
There probably are a lot of reasons, but the number one reason why most people join is to overcome the fear of public speaking.
Is it really that serious?
Absolutely. All kinds of studies have been done, and most of them, it's the number one fear that most people have. And that draws people in because sometimes their employers tell them that they need to go to Toastmasters. Other times they know that they have to communicate or they have to speak, and Toastmasters provides a safe place where you can practice and improve those skills.
Now, is it peers or is it upper management or is it, I don't want to say strangers, but just those who we aren't associated with yet? Or is it all the above?
I would say that it really doesn't matter who you are, what you do for a living, where you came from. Everybody comes together and we're there to support each other. And I just think you become close with your friends or with your fellow members because we're all here for the same reason, to help each other. A bit going back to what Dwight said about that spirit of really being there to lift each other up and to help each other.
Awesome. Amy, as program quality director, can you give us a brief explanation of the education curriculum within Toastmasters?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Toastmasters has two main components.
Two.
One has to do with communication, which is the one that people think about right away. But the other has to do with leadership. As you progress through the Toastmasters educational program, not only do you become a better communicator, but you become a better leader because you serve in roles that are leadership roles, but you don't realize that. For example, you're the Toastmaster of the meeting. You're the MC. You have to make sure everyone who has a role is there and is prepared and has the tools they need. That's all leadership. You'll notice that Lynn and Dwight and I are distinguished Toastmasters.
Correct.
That is the highest educational designation that you can earn in Toastmasters. Dave is a competent communicator, competent leader. Competent communicator is the first level in the communication track, and competent leader is the first level in the leadership track. And as he continues in Toastmasters, remember he's only been a Toastmaster for 1.5 years, or almost 2 years, he will get more advanced awards.
Gotcha.
And I'm confident that he too will become a distinguished Toastmaster.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Dwight, how do you find a Toastmasters club?
Well, the Toastmasters Club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience for members to be empowered to be better communicators and leaders, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth.
Okay.
So what it's all about is that when you become a member, especially in District 29, you become a member of the District 29 family. So it's not just the club, you have this very expanded family that's beyond the club. And we're trying to expand every member's awareness of what's going on beyond the club that the member joins.
Okay.
And the club is a very supportive environment, as you know, where everyone's there to help each other. And the whole scheme about the education program is to provide the members feedback on how they perform their speeches for speaking and communication and how they perform their leadership roles.
Awesome.
And the feedback is what the essence of the club is all about.
Thank you so much for that. David, in 30 seconds or less, why did you join Toastmasters? What brought you to Toastmasters?
Well, I told you that. So now I'd like to tell you why I stayed.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I learned was that I actually had leadership potential. And Toastmasters has been helping me develop that leadership ability.
Thank you so much. Next, in our next segment of the show, you'll hear Amy Brenner giving her speech, Why Join Toastmasters. Stay tuned.
to give a report or a presentation? Do you ever go to a party or interview for a job? Do you have to give a performance appraisal to an employee, or do you have to take feedback from a manager? All of these areas are areas in which Toastmasters can help you. Toastmasters meetings have 3 parts, and each of these parts makes it easier for you to do each of these things. The first part of a Toastmasters meeting is a prepared speech, such as the one I'm delivering now. When you have to give a presentation or a report, you have time to prepare it. You can do slides, you can organize your thoughts, you can even script it out if you need to. Toastmasters teaches you how to organize your speech, and it also teaches you how to speak within a set amount of time. That way, your briefing lasts as long as it's supposed to. It doesn't run over, and it's not too short. What if you need to change jobs? What if you need to interview? Or what if you're interviewing an applicant for a job and you need to come up with a follow-up question? Or what if you're at a social event and you're introducing yourself to someone you don't know? The second part of the normal Toastmasters meeting is called Table Topics. In Table Topics, you are given a prompt and you have 1 to 2 minutes to respond to that prompt. Isn't that what you do when someone asks you, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you do for a living? Table Topics makes it so much easier for you to respond to those questions that you might not have expected. Personally, I joined Toastmasters because I would be at many meetings, and at the end of the meeting, the person running it would ask the people in attendance, does anyone have any questions? And invariably, they would have a question about something that was not on the agenda, but was something that I was working on. And I would always be asked to respond to the unexpected question. Because of Table Topics, I'm able to respond to those questions that I'm asked at the end of a meeting that I don't have time to prepare for. Or questions that I'm asked as I'm running down the hall and running into somebody from another part of the organization who wants an update on my projects. Most of us work for other people. We don't all have the luxury of being sole practitioners. That means that we either have to provide feedback to the people who report to us, or we need to receive feedback from our bosses. The evaluation portion of Toastmasters, which is probably the most important part, teaches us how to give constructive feedback and also how to take that feedback and use it to improve our job performance or our home lives or whatever situation we're in when we are given feedback. The 3 parts of the Toastmasters meeting really help us do our jobs better and live our lives better. We learn how to prepare things that we need to do and be able to deliver our message within the time that is allotted to us. We also learn how to respond to questions or stimuli that we didn't expect. As a parent, I have to do that all the time. My children send me a text, Mom, da 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 da. I have to come up with an answer for them. And since they both happen to be in different time zones, one 6 hours away, one 14 hours away, I have to come up with those answers quickly. Table Topics has really helped me do that. It's really made my communication with my children that much better. And finally, at work, I am a much better manager because I now know how to deliver feedback to the people who report to me. I can be much more specific. I know to give them things that they can actually do, to give them specific feedback so they know exactly what it is I expect from them. And I also am better at taking feedback from the people that I report to. I've learned how to ask for more details when I need it. And I've become much more comfortable when I'm in a situation meeting people for the first time. There's no question that for me, Toastmasters has made me more successful at my job. I'm able to interact and communicate with people high up in the government, high up in Fortune 100 companies, as well as in social situations with people that I'm meeting for the first time. Why should you join Toastmasters? Because it will make you better at your job, it will make you a better communicator throughout your world, and it will make it easier for you to make changes in your life that you want to make because you're getting feedback from people that you respect.
I have the privilege of providing an oral evaluation of Amy Brenner's speech about why join Toastmasters. In Toastmasters, we provide feedback in the form of written comments as well as an oral feedback based on the criteria that's provided in the project within the manuals of the competent communicator. So today I'm going to provide a general feedback for Amy's speech, which I really enjoyed. And I already joined Toastmasters, but I can relate to all the things that she said in her speech. In fact, I really enjoyed your opening, Amy, that you posed many questions that made me think. I was in the audience and you captured me when you asked me, do you go to parties? Do you go to job interviews? Do you interact with people? And of course, all the questions were, yeah, I need to. And Toastmasters really bring value not only on things like you talked about on the table topics of providing ad hoc or impromptu responses. It helped me quite a bit in terms of providing me a library of stories that I could tell in social situations, 'cause I'm a pretty boring guy. I don't do many things. I led a boring life. But when I go to Toastmaster meetings, I listen to everyone's speeches and I learn things, not only about the communication and leadership techniques, but I hear about what other people had accomplished in their life or the kinds of adventures they've had. And I've learned that and I capture that to become part of my repertoire of social responses in situations when people say, hey, Dwight, how are you doing? Well, I can talk about some of the things I heard in the Toastmasters meeting. The other things I liked about Amy's speech is she had good gestures and she had wonderful facial expressions. So when I go back and watch the video, I'm going to look closely again at her facial expressions because I thought she did a great job. Communicating is more than with your voice and with your arms. Your body speaks, especially your facial expressions, and those are very powerful ways to communicate more effectively. So, and to recap, I really enjoyed her speech because of the way she told her story and she captured her audience by asking questions and relating how her personal life related to her journey as a Toastmaster. I enjoyed her facial expressions, and I also enjoyed how she structured a speech to provide a story of why we all should join Toastmasters. Thank you very much.
And welcome back to our final segment. I have with me District Director Lynn Wild. Lynn, thank you for coming on to this interview session again. You know, we saw an awesome prepared speech, why join Toastmasters, and then we just saw an evaluation of the speech. Playing general evaluator like we would at a normal Toastmasters meeting, what did you think?
I thought that it was a great example of what a Toastmasters meeting is like. You know, Amy gave a prepared speech, 5 to 7 minutes, and then Dwight came up and actually evaluated her, gave her positive feedback to motivate her, told her what he liked about the speech to encourage her to keep speaking again. That's
important. The feedback is very important. I mean, you know, some people come to Toastmasters for the table topics. I'm a corporate club. I noticed that we have quite a few members that are corporate club members. But for me, it is the evaluations that I tend to love, because then when you get to see someone progress and see them give a great evaluation, you can see like just the change overnight. I think it's just so wonderful.
And it's not like that in the business world. You stand up and you give a speech and then you ask, well, how did you do? And people usually, what do they do?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
you're right.
Everything was fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Or they point out maybe something that you did wrong, and then you feel devastated and you don't want to speak again.
Right. So, tell me, what went into picking the theme, Every Member Matters?
I think that when you join Toastmasters, you usually join because you're thinking about yourself.
Okay.
You join for yourself, but you stay because of other people. What happens at Toastmasters, the real benefit or the real reward in Toastmasters comes when you learn that it's not just about yourself, that it's about how you can help, how you can inspire, how you can motivate other people. And every member in that club matters. And it was very easy to come up with that theme.
Wow. Okay. So, you've played a number of other roles leading up to District Director. Share with us some of the roles that you've taken on as a Toastmaster in your journey since 2009, correct? Okay.
Well, it's interesting because I joined in 2009.
Okay.
And I was entered a contest.
Really? That's how you joined?
No, after
Oh,
I
okay.
joined and then I entered a contest.
Okay.
And I was interviewed and they asked me if I'd ever become an officer, and I said, no, that's not why I joined Toastmasters. And since that time, I've taken on so many different roles, and I find that I've grown and I've learned, and it's just been an amazing journey. And I'm going to say one thing. We have a Toastmasters magazine, and Helen Blanchard was the first female president, international president of Toastmasters.
Okay.
And she said that when you get everything out of Toastmasters that there is to get out of Toastmasters, that you will never get out of Toastmasters. And it's so true.
It's a never-ending story all
Yes,
over again.
You know.
Well, yes. The number of times you guys continuously keep offering leadership opportunities to me. And, I mean, this TV show, remember I was president and you were area governor, so back then we had area governors. So how do we reach out and grab more Toastmasters? What is going to be the secret sauce to expanding Toastmasters to the Reston, D.C. metro area?
Well, we have our club growth director whose role is to start more clubs, to build new clubs.
Okay.
We also this year have a goal, and that is actually to encourage members to step out of their club.
And go visit another club.
Go visit other clubs, spread the word, and
Yes.
I think then the members will continue to grow and learn, but also as they leave the club, I think then, and they talk about their Toastmasters experience, it almost it draws more people into Toastmasters.
Gives a greater breadth and depth, I think.
does.
And
Yeah.
I know that for myself, being that I'm at the corporate club at Oracle, we had one way of doing things. And it wasn't until I joined Free Spirits and the vice president of education, who is the number 2 in charge of the club, who sets the agenda for the meetings or whatnot, took the last 5 minutes of the meeting and was going over the agenda for the following meeting, that I actually stood up and stopped the whole meeting and said, wait a minute, you guys do this every time you guys meet? And they said, yes. I said, oh my gosh, that would, I mean, something simple as just taking the last 5 minutes of the meeting to prepare for the next meeting, you know, would allow you to be that much forward thinking and to get everybody on the same page. This is what we're looking for. You know, so I mean, I definitely see the advantages of going and speaking to other groups.
But you stepped outside your club
Absolutely.
and learned how somebody else did it, and then you can take that back to your club. So it's a win-win situation.
So how many clubs do you currently belong to?
I only belong to one,
Okay, which is?
which is the USGS Toastmasters Club.
Now, is that an open club or a corporate or closed club? What type of club is that?
It's open. It's about 50% people who actually work at the United States Geological Survey.
Okay.
And then about 50% of our members are from outside.
Okay.
And I chose that club because it's very close to where I work. So we're
Okay.
a lunchtime club, so I could zip over there. And
If you don't mind, what do you do in your personal life?
I'm self-employed. I've been a
Okay.
State Farm agent for 25 years.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You, as a self-employed State Farm agent, saw the need for Toastmasters, joined Toastmasters, and how is it? I assume it's helped you, but in what ways would you say?
Actually, the reason that I joined is I'm a State Farm agent, but the company asked me to do some teaching of other agents.
Okay.
And I was excited that I was asked, but the first time I did it, I realized I was extremely nervous. And I didn't know, but I had never done it before.
Gotcha.
So I'm a little different.
Gotcha.
Some people are just petrified of public speaking.
Gotcha.
Me, I didn't know I was petrified until I had to do it.
Okay. And so that motivated you to join Toastmasters,
Right.
and you're still trying to get all you can get out of Toastmasters.
Right. I'll be here
which,
forever.
which you're never going to leave us. Well, listen, we look forward to supporting you and encouraging you to continue to take the district to the highest levels possible.
Thank you.
District 29 is an awesome district, and if you're looking to join Toastmasters, go to toastmasters.org, or our district website is?
TMD29.org.
Okay. And that does it for our segment of Mastering Business Communication. We will see you next time. Thank you.